Saturday night main event just went off the air, guys. This show was pretty much all about Goldberg's last match, his final match, his retirement match, and we're here to talk about it as my cat in the background is beating up a recycling bag. But let's talk about there was four matches on the card. They were in Hot Atlanta, and we're gonna here to talk about all of it. But before we open up the show and talk about all the things that happened at Saturday night main event, we have a song for you. Why don't you open up with it, co-host?
Beer.
Money!
He's from the country. He's from
He's
the
from the
city.
city.
Watching money.
And your alcohol.
Because when the tide's going down and the shit's going down, you know you're gonna take a fall. What is that cat doing?
That is hilarious. That is how we open up Saturday Night Main Event with some TNA original music. Bear Money, one of the best TNA tag teams in that time. I still got Mother Machine Guns over Bear Money, but if you put Bear Money over Machine Guns, that's fine. That's cool. No hatred here. But we're here to talk about Saturday Night Main Event. This is the Big Pop Theory podcast. We are usually an audio podcast, but we wanted to review and have a live after show review about Saturday Night Main Event, and I look forward to talking about it with you, my guy. We watched it together here in New York. We were here in New York. We wasn't not in Atlanta, and I mean, real quick. I mean, if I could just take the floor. If I could take the floor real quick. I'm sorry. I have a cat, guys. I apologize about that. And he's running wild, as you can hear the ching 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 ching. But look, four matches on the card. They were in Atlanta. Um, if you missed the show, you didn't really miss a whole lot. This was pretty much a. A lot of people have said this, where this is pretty much a televised tape show. I mean, televised house show. Um, I didn't hate the show, but I didn't necessarily love it either. I just enjoyed the company of one my co-host here, Mark Wins. Mark Wins. I'm going to give you the floor here, sir. How the heck are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Feeling good.
I love that for you. That is fantastic. Look, there was four matches on the card tonight. What did you feel about Saturday Night Main Event?
It was mid. It was very, very mid. It might have been worse than mid, but I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because we'll get into it, but like it compared to like the other, I guess, well, since it's not a PLE, right? I don't. So that's the other thing. I don't know how it compares because I don't really watch Raw and SmackDown like that. I don't know how it compares to Raw and SmackDown, but it definitely did not have that big game PLE feel. It felt
Okay.
very, very regular.
And that's fine. No, I mean, and I think I feel like I'm on the same boat as you when it comes to this card. Like, look, we had Randy against Drew McIntyre. We had Seth Rollins against LA Knight. We'll talk about that match. Um, Solo Sikoa against Jimmy Uso, and the main event being your guy, Bill Goldberg, looking to leave professional wrestling as the World Heavyweight Champion against Gunther. And yeah, I mean, this card, like I said, if you missed it, you really didn't miss a whole lot. I know that they look, realistically speaking, they just wanted to have a lot of content this weekend, and I didn't even get a chance to watch Great American Bash. I'm hoping to catch it before the weekend is up. I know that you have it in the background going on there, and I hope that you are enjoying it. Um, but why don't we, real quick here, once again, this is the Big Pop Theory Podcast, this is the YouTube. We're looking to try to have some content here on this YouTube channel. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. There's all these amazing features here because we like to do prediction shows, live reaction shows, and we're looking to have some other content along the ways here. So why don't we open up with the very first match of the night here? I want to give a shout out real quick to I know if he could, he would be here, but one Rich Kings, he was trying to get on, but there was technical difficulties. So, but I do want to give a shout out to him because he did want to be on here. But let's talk about this first match here, and I'm going to give you the floor first here. One Mark wins. We had Randy Orton right here. We got Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, he returned 2 weeks ago. He got it. Oh, was it 2 weeks or a week ago? I forget what it was, but he just returned. He got in the ring with Randy Orton. He was talking smack to Randy Orton. Randy Orton laid him out with an RKO. And he said, like, yeah, I want to match with one Drew McIntyre said, I want to match with Randy Orton. He got that match. It was granted. And we have Randy Orton. He came out with Jelly Roll. And we had Drew McIntyre come out with Logan Paul on Friday night. Logan Paul called out Jelly Roll, and he said, I'm tired of celebrities and influencers trying to interfere in the world that we created. Not like he's an influencer or anything like that, right? And I was hearing the rumors, right, that it was looking like. So I was hearing the stuff about Jelly Roll, and he wanted to get in the ring and do some stuff in the ring. But then you hear the stuff about maybe it's going to be a tag team match, and this was already. When I saw this, I said, "Oh, they're setting this up right here. Saturday Night Main Event is where this is going to be set up." I want to give you the floor first here, Mark Wins. You know, we watched it together. We got a comment in the chat. Let me see. We got Justin. He is a lovely individual. He said, "Sup, sup,
Mm.
sir."
What's up,
Uh,
Justin?
yes, Justin. I don't know who this Justin guy is, but he's impressive. I can tell because his name began with a J, like me, Jack. Um, what did you think about this match, Mark Wentz?
It was it was okay. I don't know how to explain it, but I think Drew needs a I don't want to say repackaging, but Drew needs something because it doesn't he don't hit the same. Like I know he had his thing in 2020 where he was champion but nobody was around to see it, and it feels like he's been trying to chase that high and has been unsuccessful in chasing that high ever since, and it's starting to get very very bad because, well, I know, spoiler alert, he lost. I don't like
That's
again,
fine.
like, and he keeps losing, and eh, and then like the match was okay, but then you had Jelly Roll and Logan Paul in the match, and I'm not 100% sure. I guess, like you said, they're setting up their tag match and their match or whatever, but I feel like there needed to be, if I'm booking this and I'm trying to fix the Drew McIntyre situation, because at this point it's a Drew McIntyre situation. You don't need Jelly Roll and Logan Paul involved. This needs to be a match, and we need Drew McIntyre to win because at the end of the maybe I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong,
Sure.
but I'm assuming that Drew is younger than Randy Orton, so Drew has a few more years in the business more than Randy Orton. So at some point we have to sit there and say, all right, boom, what are we gonna do with Drew for the rest of his career? Because he's putting people over that, like, it's not like I remember many years ago the Chris Jericho situation where Chris Jericho was jobbing in this guy and jobbing in that guy, but his whole thing was, I'm putting people over. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting people over, making them look good. I feel like Drew is putting people over that doesn't necessarily need to be put over. Like, he's putting people over that, on one hand, you could argue they should be putting him over. Like, he lost to a CM Punk, he lost to a Randy Orton. Why is he losing to these people? You can argue, oh, because they're better than him. Okay, I understand that, but I don't know. Drew ain't been hitting, and this match definitely doesn't help that case.
Um, so here's the thing with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is such interesting atmosphere. So I do agree that Randy Orton could have took this L right here, but they went with Randy taking the win over Drew McIntyre, and I was actually confused by that. I was like, huh, I wouldn't have gone that route. I would have had Drew get the win here because I think he needed. So this was the thing that I was thinking about. I wasn't even thinking about like, hey, they're going to set up for this tag team match. I was thinking maybe you set Drew up, he gets some wins, possibly be a potential. contender to go against Cody Rhodes, because I do believe Cody Rhodes is going to win that WWE Championship. And hey, let's build up Drew, and maybe he could be a contender. I don't have an exact time period of when he could be, but eventually be a contender there. Him losing, I just wouldn't have done it. I don't think it hurts him. I've always said out loud plenty of times, because I feel like a lot of people in the IWC, they hear certain words and they just use certain words because they just want to be edgy and catchy, and like they have no meaning of what the word means. Like some people say, like there's somebody online right now saying Drew McIntyre is buried, and it's like, no, he's not buried. Um, but I do think he could have used that one a little bit more. The stuff with Jelly Roll and I'm sorry, the stuff with Jelly Roll
Logan
and
Paul.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I feel about it. Like, so here's the thing: Logan Paul is really good at what he does. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that about one Logan Paul, but he's really good when he's in the ring. I mean, I feel like you've seen enough of his in-ring stuff to be like, you know what? He's really pretty good, solid in the ring. But we're doing this thing and setting it up, and I don't know what Jelly Roll's athletic ability is. I think about. I remember one time we were chatting. Sometimes we talk about wrestling, me and you, and I remember you said to me some time ago, and you was like, "Yo, celebrity wrestling has changed." So, meaning you were talking about Logan Paul and Bad Bunny, and I just don't think everybody should just get in the ring, because, like, what's next? We're gonna get I'm trying to think about an act. Are we gonna get Tom Cruise in the ring? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not. I gotta see how this plays out. I don't hate it, but I'm just also not like necessarily enamored about it. And I feel like I pronounced that word completely wrong. But like, it's just I'm not like stoked about it. Is my point.
I mean, if
I'm
Tom
talking about the
Cruise,
tag team match.
right? If Tom Cruise does his own stunts, he's probably better equipped to do his own match than Jelly Roll is. But I don't know. I don't know how to. My thing is, how how do you even book Jelly Roll, right? Because like
Like a
just
jelly
on
roll.
right, but like just on looks alone, right? He's not bigger than Logan Paul, but then like he's not as athletic, he's not as cut as Logan Paul, but then like he's not even like he's not Otis, right? Like he's not that big where it's like, yo, like how do you even you can have the match, sure, whatever. If I don't doubt that he's going to train and make the match as good as possible. But like when I was looking at the difference between Jelly Roll and Logan Paul, it was very, very different. And it's like whereas Logan Paul looks like he belongs in the ring,
Mhm.
Jelly Roll looks like a celebrity. Like so I don't know, like Jelly Roll looks like he should lose very, very quickly against Logan Paul.
And you're just going by appearance.
Yes. In fact, Jelly Roll looks like he should lose that match faster than a Bad Bunny would. Like he doesn't I don't know how to explain it. He
But
looks
do you think?
normal.
But do you think looks is Because I hear what you're saying about that stuff. But do you think like looks is everything in the ring?
It's not everything, but like this particular contrast feels stark to me. Cause like
Mhm.
he has this like there's this in betweenism. I don't know how to explain it. All right, so like boom, right? Like Bad Bunny, he's just like when you compare Bad Bunny, if you was to say, compare Bad Bunny to Logan Paul, Bad Bunny is definitely smaller, but he's not like he has a smaller frame overall. He's a little bit shorter than him.
He's a
He has a
smaller
smaller
guy.
frame, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I get what you're saying.
So you can do something with that, right? Whereas this like it feels like, and it also looks like Jelly Roll lost some weight to his credit. So it's
He
not all
do.
the way right,
He do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right.
I did
So
peep that today. Yeah.
it's not all the way his fault, right? Because he's training, because he's training to wrestle a match.
He's
He
trying to.
lost some
Yeah,
weight,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
he's not going to be able to do the Otis thing or have the Otis look. But that doesn't it doesn't look like is looks everything? No, but unless he can get a little more slimmer and maybe a little more cut, I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out.
Sure.
Jelly Roll looks sloppy.
I
Yes.
saw. I literally saw that comment, man.
Yes. Jelly Roll looks sloppy. And it's not even like I said, clearly lost some weight. So good on him
He
because
did.
that means his health has increased tenfold. That means his stamina has increased tenfold. That means that he's really putting in the work.
He he's
But
been taking stuff a lot seriously. Yeah.
yes, but that is the answer. Yes, Justin Scott got it correct. Jelly Roll looks sloppy, and there's something about that sloppiness was like, does looks mean everything? Not necessarily, but here it's the contrast looks a little too stark. The contrast, it looked like Logan Paul can actually talk shit about, oh, I built this, and you're an influencer, you're an outsider looking in. It looked like he can say that.
He it's funny when he was saying that. Obviously, he was using that to be like
Hmm.
the kettle corn, the pot black. I think is the term, right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and I don't want to dig too deep into this match any further, but like they're really setting up this tag match. I'm not really looking forward to it, and maybe it's going to be something. I thought about. I've been watching wrestling for a pretty long time. I mean, I was yapping your ear and talking about wrestling pretty much for the majority of today, and I was mentioning how like all these things in wrestling. But and I know you know this because you've done some research about, excuse me, hiccups, and also too I want another slice. But we were talking about like I remember us talking one time, and this was some time back, and we were talking about Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone in that tag team match in WCW Bash at the Beach. And then the following month, because that was a Bash at the Beach, that was July, Roadhog was Argus. I was a WCW kid growing up, guys. Um, but you know who DDP's partner was when he went against Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff?
Cool.
Jay Leno. Just And I don't want to say like because I think Jay Leno was like the bottom when you talk about like celebrities in ring, and maybe someone can correct me about that. Um,
Nothing to correct. No, yeah. But I mean, like, it was a different time. Like,
that's fair.
but it was a different time. But at the same time, when you have that contrast where, like, you have Jay Leno as opposed to these NBA players that they're already athletic, they're already in shape. So basically, all you got to do is train them. Hey, this is how you throw. This is how you throw a punch to not hurt nobody. This is how
Mhm.
you pick somebody up and slam them to
Yeah.
minimize the impact. It's not as opposed to Jay Leno, who is Jay Leno. I don't like.
Well, to be fair, if I can throw this out here real quick, if I can say this right,
Hmm.
Jay Leno. I didn't think nothing about this because I was a kid. So when you're a kid and you watch wrestling, you're not really like judging anything really much.
Right.
It's not that serious to you.
Hmm.
But when you're an adult and someone said Jay Leno hit an armbar on Hulk Hogan, no, it was an arm wrench on Hulk Hogan, and you're like, it's actually kind of funny. Like, watch it back if you guys didn't see it. But let's get into the next match here. But this match, it was fine. I mean, it was fine. It was nothing spectacular. It was really. I really looked at this match more of something to set up for the next program with Randy and Drew. This was nothing like. This was not going to be a 5 stars at the Tokyo Dome. Like it wasn't one of those kind of matches. It was, hey, how do we get from here to here? Let's get to the next match. I don't even have a graphic for it. I'm sorry. There's no graphic for this at all because it was announced. Just it was just announced. So we have Solo Sikoa defending his United States Championship against Jimmy Uso, his brother versus brother. There's been a lot of brother versus brother matches. You had Brett against Owen. You had Jeff against Matt. I know there's some other matches. I'm not. There's another match. There was actually Jay and Jimmy. If I could sit here and say out of the bunch, I could tell you what was the best brother versus brother. Brett against Owen. I'm sorry. That match. Some people would say that match had heart. Thank you. That's for me. But these guys that went out there. So last night on SmackDown, I like Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is pretty hilarious. He's a funny dude. If you have an opportunity on YouTube, look up Solo Sikoa funny moments because he's a funny dude. I think he deserved to be the United States champion. However, bro don't win. He doesn't win at all. So yesterday on SmackDown, when Jimmy pinned Solo, I forget if it was Joe Tussamore, Joe or I'm sorry, I didn't want to pronounce his name wrong, but Joe or Wade Barrett. They said one of them said, "Hey, Jimmy with the surprise roll up," and he pinned his brother. I said, "That's not a surprise. Like, the Knicks making it far the mid 2010s is a surprise, or you know, there's a bunch of jokes I can make here, but that wasn't a surprise because Solo won that championship. Um, what was the last pay per view? Was it Money in the Bank?
Night
God,
of
it was
Champions.
Night of Champions. Thank you. Look, good job. Thank you. But he won the championship at Night of Champions. He had a tag team match, and he got pinned by Jacob Fatu, and then last night got pinned by Jimmy Uso. So no, I was not surprised at all. This match, I think they just wanted to have Solo have his first title defense on here. I mean, once again, this card, it was not like anything that was breathtaking. But Solo gets the dub here. He wins. He has his family. They beat up Jimmy. At the end, we have Jacob Fatu return after being put through a table last week. Like this match. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I wasn't moved in this match at all. This match, it was basic. There was nothing wrong with the match. I can't sit here and say like, man, there was a whole bunch of like like mistakes and all this stuff. No, it just wasn't. I wasn't moved. I wasn't. I was seated. So, what did you think about this, Mark Wayne? And I was sitting.
Yeah, once again, another mid match and a sea of mid. It was. I mean, nah, I ain't even gonna hold you. I don't got much to say about it because you see, oh, here's Jimmy in front of the family or whatever. He's got nobody on his side. Solo has everybody on his side, including the new tall dude. What's his name?
Talaloa, I think.
Talaloa. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So like the odds were stacked against him. There was no build up. Like it's not like we had the WrestleMania build up for Jimmy, where it's like, all right, boom, I'm gonna yeet here, yeet there, yeet yeet everywhere, and then I'm gonna win a championship. Like no, just like surprise, you got a match, and it was I didn't. It was like just another. It was just another mid match, and I guess it was cool to see Jacob come back. I'm assuming he came back from something. Talatanga.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Um, I'm assuming he came back from some type of hiatus. I don't know why the hiatus came back, but he came. I
Oh,
don't
for
know.
Jacob,
Yes,
he was. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Apologies, but he was put through the table a week ago. So that's what it was. It was like his. It wasn't even like he was going for that long. He was going
it
for
was
a
a
week,
week.
and yeah, that was it. Like it looked like. So I went to MSG last year when they put Paul Heyman through. And granted, Paul Heyman's a lot older, so I mean, I would take all the time in the world too if I was put through the table, like that. So yeah, no, he wasn't gone for a long period of time. He was just, gone, and he was going to come out, and it's looking like so. We were talking about this earlier. We were talking about this um, bloodline. I call it the okay BLCU, the Bloodline Cinematic Universe, because this thing has been going on for 5 years, and even though Solo don't call his bloodline, it's I
It's the bloodline.
it is
It's
the bloodline. It is pretty much the bloodline.
it's
Some people,
bloodline adjacent.
well, some people call it bloodline wolfpack. Um, but I'm so sorry. It's this whole thing, and I almost sit here and go, and I just want to. I see you in the chat, Chris. He was saying Jimmy has no help because Roman don't care about anyone but himself. It's funny because like Chris says that, right? And shout out to you, executives. Great, thank you for being here. Um, it's funny because I feel like Roman got out of the Bloodline Cinematic Universe. Jay's gotten out, but Jimmy is stuck here. It's and I feel so bad because I really no, I kid you not. I'm not even being funny here at this point. I really like Jimmy, but I just feel like he's stuck here. Like, eventually they're gonna kick out Solo at some point, and Solo will probably leave. Um, I think I told you this when we were walking here, and we were walking to my house, and and everything like that. But Roman just had his sixth child, and I'm like, this
Mm.
bloodline storyline will never end. Like it's going to go on forever, and I love it. Like
I
I
mean, this sounds
Mhm.
like it could be preparation for the Nick Cannon War. So do what we got to do, right?
I prefer this over the Nick Cannon Wars.
I'm just, but what I'm saying is the Nick
Yeah.
Cannon Wars are an obvious and inevitable occurrence, and it seems like the bloodline is
Ah,
preparing for the Nick Cannon Wars. So that's what it sounds like. So, I mean, if this is what they got to do, then this is what they got to do because humanity is going to need some kind of help at some point.
you know what I'm thinking is going to happen in this Bloodline cinematic universe. Something's going to happen with Roman leaves, and he's going to get recasted by like Morgan Freeman or something like that. And like I don't know, like because if I could just say here real quick, if I talk, because sometime on the Big Pop Big podcast I talk about Marvel, and I know a lot of people didn't like that Robbie Downey Jr. came back as Doctor Doom. So like I just imaged something like that for Roman, where something happened when Roman leaves, but then he becomes like another character. I don't know what the character would be. It'd be like not Roman Reigns, it'd be Roman like James or something. I don't know. We'll figure out the name here. But like really, like Solo getting the win. I mean, he had to get the win. He had to retain. He was not dropping it to Jimmy. I think it was just like I said, it was just something to get Solo and give him a W here. But I really want the best for Jimmy. I don't know. I really would like I really like the best for Jimmy. That's all. Like I feel like they throw him out there because they know like he's a good hand and he's gonna obviously put over his brother. I don't think he's gonna have any kind of issue with that. But I don't know. I just like and there's nothing wrong with Jay. If you like Jay, yeet. And that was the only time you ever see me do that on here because I don't do that at all. But yeah. And I will throw this away. I know you don't watch a whole lot of this stuff, but right now it looked like it's going to be a war against Solo's bloodline. Um, do you think you see Jay come back in here to help out his brother Jimmy and
I'd
get the
hope so because what is he doing? Like he's literally, to my knowledge, he's doing nothing.
Well, so let me help you out here with that, right? I know, like, the beauty about this whole conversation is you'll ask the questions and I'll try to feed you the answers. So, believe it or not, and maybe right now his hands are free because we'll get into that third match, but he was feuding with Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins' crew, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. So,
Oh, okay, okay.
but right now we'll have to figure out how that all turns around because let's get into that. Well, why don't we get into that match right now, right? Let's get into that match. I just want to highlight it. We had LA Knight going against Seth Rollins. These two have been beefing for a while. Seth has caused LA Knight a lot of matches, and LA Knight this past Monday he um he attacked Seth Rollins. He attacked him in the alleyway, and they had a brawl to hype up this match. I'm gonna tell you right now, I had this match going another way. I said, "Oh yeah, Seth Rollins is gonna beat LA Knight. He's the Money in the Bank." I don't know. I mean, I'm not even gonna say I don't know what went wrong here because they did show the replay. So let's just talk about that, right? This match happens and it's going on, and you're like, okay, cool, and stuff like that. You see Seth Rollins, he does his, and this is something that Seth Rollins has done a few times in matches, where he does the springboard swanton bomb, and then he does the lion salt. But when he did the lion salt, he must have landed. I'm trying to figure. It was such a freak
It's
accident.
Yeah, it's a non-contact injury. It happens a lot in basketball. So like when I saw the replay, I was like, oh yeah, nah, he's actually hurt. Because at first when I saw it, I think I missed like what actually happened. I missed what actually happened and why he was like in the corner of the ring. I was like, what's going on here? And
Mm-hmm.
didn't know if he was hurt or not. And then then you
Yeah.
see LA Knight get the really quick pin. And I was like, oh, either this is a really funny work to get him to cash in the money in the bank on the next match, or he's really hurt. And then I saw the replay, and when I saw he like you said he did the springboard off the rope for, you said it was a lion tamer.
No lion salt.
Lionsault. He did the spring forward off the Lionsault. Nobody hit him. All he did was land, and his knee hurt. That's non-contact. That's bad.
Right.
That he's gonna be out for some time. Like,
Really?
yeah.
How much time you thinking?
Depending on whether it's a sprain or it's a tear, it can be a couple of weeks to a couple of months, possibly a year. Like, they have to obviously we would need an update on what's going on, so like they can specify like exactly what the injury is. But yeah, if it's a sprain, hopefully it's a sprain. If it
Right,
because
because he's not
if
missing a lot
it's
of time.
right, if it's a sprain, he'll recover. He doesn't have to miss a lot of time, and or he can miss the maximum amount of time to heal, and um, he can miss the maximum amount of time to heal, and it still wouldn't be that long. Versus a tear, and that's going to take surgery. He's going to be out for some time. He may have to rehabilitate and all that. And we all I can say is hopefully it's not as serious as it looked, and get well soon. But nah,
Oh, no, for
that
sure.
was yeah, because like I said, it was non-contact. All he did was, and I'm assuming it's a move. I'm assuming it's a move he does all the time. No, not all the time, but often enough where
Good
he just
enough. Yeah,
flips off the
yeah, yeah.
second rope and lands. And when he landed, his knee was like, not this time, and
It's
yeah.
it honestly sucks. Because like he's had like issues with the leg, and I don't know if it's the same leg or anything like that, but it just sucks to hear that. I mean, and when you even say, and like I think about like what was it like 3 weeks ago, 2 3 weeks ago with Liv Morgan, and it was a basic move that Kairi Sane did. It was like it was a takedown move, and she hurt her shoulder, and the match ended under like maybe 15 seconds. So
Hmm.
when you see stuff like this where people are getting hurt, and it's from stuff where they're just doing basic moves. I mean, this is something Seth Rollins does. I'm not gonna say all the time, but he does it enough, and I'm pretty sure he felt confident in it, and his leg and it. Like I remember even seeing it. I remember, I'll sit here and say out loud. I said, "Oh, that should work. He's fine." Because you pointed out like, "Yo, is he good?" I was like, no, no,
Right.
no, he's fine, he's good. And
But
then,
then, like I said, when I saw that replay, I was like, oh nah, that ain't okay. Because like I said,
yeah,
it's one thing if he got hit,
mhm,
and then you can sit there and you can argue, all right, he got hit and he's working it. He didn't get hit. He
no,
just landed.
man,
That's the problem. And like 99 times out of 100, wrestling in general is not going to book a non-contact injury as a work. That's not usually we're going to make it that some you got hit and this is why, and we can dress it up and make it look and feel and sound as serious as we want, but it's going to be
mhm,
contact. The fact that it was no contact, that didn't that's what let me know he was really hurt.
and that sucks. I don't know. I mean, I think we'll get a update in the next few days and stuff like that about it. Maybe on Monday Night Raw, and see what's going on with that. But like how you said earlier, speedy recovery is to one Seth Rollins. I mean, it just sucks, man. It just sucks to see stuff like that. I mean, it's never a good time for anyone to get injured, but man, this really really sucks. Uh,
Hmm.
speedy recoveries to him. I feel very remiss. We didn't get the chance to talk about this. They were showing a lot of the women in the crowd. Tomorrow's Evolution, and we hope to be doing a review show about that tomorrow. I look forward to doing that. I've said it countless times. Maybe not on air, but I said a few times, like, man, this show has been poorly advertised. But I think the women are going to go out there and knock it out of the fucking park, to be honest with you. And, like we saw Jade Cargill and Naomi. I really love this segment. I just wanted to talk about this. Um, I really love this because they have this blood feud, right? Jade Cargill and Naomi. You see Jade out there, and she does her Jade pose, and Naomi attacks her, and then she's fighting with Jade, and someone was sitting there saying, "Oh, Paige is going to return," right? Um, Paige is going to return, and because Nick Aldis come out. You remember Nick Aldis, right? I mean, you watched it. You remember Nick Aldis, right?
Magnus.
Magnus. But he's out there. He's GMing as fuck. Um, I said I'm not gonna lie. as a GM, he had the greatest shoulders I've ever seen in my life. Like there wasn't too many GMs with shoulders like this. Like shout out to Nick Aldis. And I hope that eventually he does get in the ring because I mean he's in great shape. I don't know what his age is,
Is
but
he
like
hurt? I don't understand why he doesn't wrestle.
no, he's not hurt. I mean, at least nothing I've ever heard about. I think they
Right.
just have him as that's his position. Uh, you know, I honestly was thinking, you know, when Kevin Owens got hurt and Randy Orton RKO'd him a few weeks before Mania, I was like, oh, you too? Okay,
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
Magnus, this is your time. Come on, Magnus.
Do you have a? I'm sorry, because I want to give you the floor here because you are a big TNA. I want to say '07 to '09. 2010, you just dealt with it. But do you have a moment with Magnus? I'm going to say Magnus because that's what you know him as in TNA. Obviously, Nick Aldis. But did you have a moment?
Not necessarily a moment, but I enjoyed his tag team work with Douglas Williams when they were. I forget, like they were
British
some
Invasion.
type of they were some
Oh,
type of stereotypical British team or whatever.
British
But
Invasion.
yes, but they were fire. I enjoyed that little tag team. I mean, amongst the other tag teams, it's not like TNA was
Oh,
stretching
yeah,
and
yeah,
scraping
yeah,
for
yeah.
tag teams. Like no, they had tag teams, and it was really interesting how like TNA could just take a couple of people and then put them together, and somehow they would just make a decent tag team with decent chemistry. It was really good. Like, and yeah, those two were pretty cool. But as far as like a moment, I don't necessarily have a moment. I just remember him. He was there. He was. I think he did. He have a championship. He had to have won a championship once or twice. No,
Which championship?
the main one, the World TNA Heavyweight Champion.
He won that. I'm surprised if you even remember that because, like, I feel like at that point you stopped watching, but he did win it. Um, this is around the time AJ was making his exit out of TNA,
Mm.
but he did win the championship for a while. I don't know how long. I forget how long he held that championship, but yeah, he did. To answer your question, yes, he did. And then he ended up going elsewhere. He ended up being the NWA champion. I mean, he's a really accomplished wrestler. Matter of fact, I got to watch him live. We might have saw him one time in a TNA show because we used to go to those Coney Island shows, if you remember.
Right.
But I did see him at an HOG show once, and then
Oh,
I immediately took a disliking to him because he said I could be wrestling anywhere, but here I am in Queens, and I said, oh, I don't like this guy because that's rude.
is it? I don't think so. He's not lying. He could be. He could have been wrestling anywhere. Okay, wait. What was his tone? That's the question. The question is, what is his tone? Because if his tone was like he's hyped to wrestling queens, then he's hyped to wrestling queens. But if he's like, I could be wrestling anywhere, but oh, here I am, then yeah, fuck that guy.
The
That's what his
latter,
tone was.
the
Oh, fuck that
latter.
guy. Fuck
Thank
that
you.
guy.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
Get him out.
Magnus. Here, you know what I said when he said this? You know what I said? Here, I got you right here. I miss him so much. Um, but you know, they're showing all the women out there, and the crowd. You know who I was excited about to see, right?
JC Jane.
To JC motherfucking James. Yes,
And let me tell you something real quick because we're gonna get into the main event, but I don't want to talk about the main event. I want to talk about something I'm interested in. I'm gonna tell you right now. One, JC Jane, she's gonna go against Jordan Disgrace, and she's gonna beat her for the NXT Women's Championship. And that's what's gonna happen tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing that all tomorrow, right there on Evolution. JC Jane
Oh
beating
shit.
her, and you know she's gonna like dominate her. And you know, I don't want to say I wish I didn't see this, but I'm glad I'm going to see it. You like that one? You wasn't even prepared for that one, was you?
I was not prepared for that
Yeah.
because I feel like over the past couple of months, I felt like Jordan Disgrace has gone for like this title like three, four, maybe five times and just kept losing it. Why is she still getting title shots? I don't understand. I'm really confused. Like Because
You know,
and my thing is like she doesn't seem like a bad wrestler. Like she
no,
seems
she's good.
right. She's pretty good. She's pretty really really good. So like stop booking her like that. Like I don't understand why we're doing this.
So, I mean, and hopefully you do get the chance to watch Evolution because I think Evolution is going to be a really, really fun show. But I do want to sit here and say this. So, I don't know how much you follow, like rumors and news and all that stuff, but they're saying that Jordan Grace is going to be called up to the main roster, and I look at this as and this is already my prediction. We're going to do a prediction on the audio podcast for Evolution. Um, I see her losing and being called up to the main roster. They said so. Sorry,
But
Go
what is that momentum? Like like I
ahead.
said, maybe things are happening in NXT that I'm not seeing. But I feel like every pay per view that I've seen her in the past couple of months she's losing a title shot. Like she got the Batista syndrome. I don't understand how we calling her up. I'm not. Let me rephrase that because, like I said, once again, she's good. Like she's
Right.
objectively good enough to call up. But what
Mhm.
is that momentum? That momentum doesn't make sense to me.
So let me ask you: do you think that now, granted, I hear what you're saying. You're saying when it comes to the championship stuff, she doesn't win the big one. What are we doing here? But she wins though. But you're saying what is the momentum? What is the momentum? I'm going to try to answer this to the best of my ability here when it comes to that question. Um, I think they lean on. I'm so sorry, hiccups. I think they lean on the name. They know that she is somebody who can be on the card. Um, I don't know, like, because I think that's a fair question, and I'm actually stumped here because you're like momentum, momentum, momentum. But I think they just lean on like, hey, it's Jordan Grace, and she goes up there. Look at Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace is not a super big girl. She's, and I mean like height wise, of course.
She's not.
Um,
She's short, but she's stocky. I see it.
yes, yeah, no, totally. And I think they go with when the music plays and she goes out there, her in ring stuff is going to get her over, even though she's not. And once again, only championship stuff, because she win matches. She just doesn't lose. But championship wise, it comes off like, wow, she doesn't hit the big one. But I think her talent is something, because you're talking about the momentum. I think her talent is going to be something that really puts her over. And it also talked about the booking too, because I hear what you're saying. And here's the thing about NXT. I love NXT. I get the chance to review it on a popular review, and I enjoy reviewing NXT. But one of the things that I know is that not everyone watches NXT. There are people who claim they watch NXT, and I listen to them, and I can tell they don't. Um, sorry, but like not everyone watches it. So there's some people who, when they get a chance to see her for the first time, and some people might not even know some of her work from TNA, because you got to remember she's a former Knockouts champion.
Right.
Um, for some people, this is going to be the first time, but when they see her, she is a specimen. So I think all that stuff from her look, her in ring stuff, that stuff is going to get her over. And once again, the booking is going to be a major thing as well. I was thinking, and I've said this plenty of times. I want to give a shout out to one ShaySawyer because she said this, and I was like, you read my mind. But like, what do you do with her? I was thinking that you pair Lash Legend with Naomi, but I've lost faith in that at this point. But maybe you do Jordan Grace. And you might say, well, why Jordan Grace? Because they have history. When Naomi was out there in TNA, Impact, whichever brand you want to call it at the time, she they had a rivalry and all that stuff. She can be her bodyguard, regardless. Once again, oh look, she's 5'2". Yeah, but if she want to, she will throw you. She will yeet you over the sun. So like, let's take breaths here.
I mean, she's 5'2" in the women's division. Like, this is not to shit on women, but like, I
Hmm?
don't know. Who's the tallest woman in WWE right now? The tallest woman is probably an outlier, and then the next tallest woman is probably like several inches shorter than that. Am I wrong?
So Izzy Dame is like 5'10", 5'11", and I think
Uh huh.
Lash Legend is like around that. So if
Um.
let's say Lash Legend is 5'10", let's say Izzy Dame is 5'11".
So I
I
guess there
mean,
are more. So I guess there are more than one outlier. I understand, but even
mhm.
still, like 5'10", 5'2". I feel like not the disparity. The okay,
Average.
boom. If the tallest woman is 5'10",
Mhm.
right, and she's 5'2", but stocky. You know what I mean? We can make that work. We can sell that. As opposed to like, oh, there's this dude, he's 5'5", and the average height of the roster is 6'1". Then it's like, hey, what's going on here? But I don't think it's gonna be that I don't think it's gonna be that jarring, especially like I said, especially because she is a specimen, to
Mhm.
see Jordan Grace down. To see Jordan Grace you know what I mean, whooping some ass on the main roster.
I'm laughing because he deserted me. I mean, he at least he likes hanging out with Unc. I saw I or I heard us down, and I immediately know like he deserted me. So I know where he's sleeping tonight. Um, let's get into this main event. I mean, I love the breakdown, and when you're talking about like the height and all that stuff and stuff. I do like your breakdown, so shout out to you for that. Let's get into the main event here. I'm sorry, let me just make sure I got the. Here we go. Right here, we had the main event. This is really what this card was all about for Saturday Night Main Event. You have Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Bill Goldberg. So let me talk to you guys real quick. I was telling one Mark Wins that so when we were making our way to my house, we were just shooting the shit and we were talking about wrestling. We were talking about many things because that's really how our conversations are, right? One Mark Wins, and you was like, it was something about we talked about for whatever reason the conversation came up to about Bill Goldberg against Gunther, and I said I'm not gonna hold you. I'm at the edge of my seat here. I said WWE has conditioned me to fear for my life. um, they had look. I always use this as an example. I love when people try to tell the lore of me of my um, distaste for
Hatred.
Bill. Yeah, they'll say hatred, right? That's the word, hatred, right? Like your hatred of Bill Goldberg. And guys, like, I don't hate Bill Goldberg. I don't know him personally. I mean, hopefully you guys can still hear me because I feel like my camera froze. Can you hear me still?
I can hear you, but yeah, your camera definitely froze.
That is hilarious. We're gonna make this work, guys. Um, everyone talking about this random hatred and stuff about Bill Goldberg, and I'm like, no, I don't hate Bill Goldberg. I was never a fan. His in-ring stuff never did it for me. And then I also turned up the heat a little bit and made jokes and blah 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 blah. But I never wanted anything about him getting hurt or anything like that because that's just sick. Um, I feel like I'm going to turn my camera off, and you guys are just going to hear me run my mouth here. Um, apologies about the technical difficulties here. But this match, this card, everything, this Saturday Night Main Event was all built on the back of one Bill Goldberg. What was the retirement match going to be? I sat here and I remember thinking to myself, like, yo, not for nothing, there's at least an 80-20 chance of him winning. Because I thought the chances were that high. I think about the match that he had with The Fiend in 2020. And I remember thinking, like, that was ridiculous. And I said, we're stopping him tonight. That's the truth. And look, Goldberg came out. Goldberg's 58 years old. And I've thrown out, I try to be a realist. He's 58 years old, and I kid you not, for 58 years old, he's in better shape than a lot of people have his age. But he's 58 years old. He's also, I mean, if I can, I'm not trying to just throw anything your ways. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you pointed out, like, hey, that guy looked kind of like hurt. And, he's walking and, he didn't look like the Goldberg of old. I know he tried this match. I felt like this match went longer than it needed to be, if I'm being honest. This match was longer. It was long for no reason. Gunther did some stuff. I don't even feel like Gunther chopped Goldberg. And
He did.
that's oh, he did?
Yeah, he did several times. In fact, he did it like towards the beginning of the match, and Goldberg no sold it, which was hilarious. And then
I didn't laugh.
and then like midway through the match, he chopped him a couple more times, and at this point, Goldberg was selling it because he done took some damage, so the arm is broken. So he takes it, he sells it. But yeah, he chopped Goldberg a couple times.
Okay, fair. I missed that. Okay, thank you for clarifying that for me because I totally missed it. Um, but yeah, I still think this match went longer than it needed to be. You know, you had the ref bump. Charles Robinson, shout out to Charles Robinson. Charles Robinson, I remember him in WCW. I don't know if you remember the story. I feel like I told you this once, but there was a tag match. It was Ric Flair and Charles Robinson. They used to call him Little Nate. Still do, I feel like calling him Little Nate. They tagged him against Macho Man and Gorgeous George. And Charles Robinson tells the story that Macho Man hit that, his signature elbow drop from the turnbuckle. Anyway, Macho Man was a lot heavier at this time. And Charles Robinson, let's say he was 150 pounds, 160 pounds. He wasn't he didn't weigh that much.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, when Randy Savage did it, he crushed his ribs.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. Just devastating. And I'm not laughing at that. I'm just saying I've known Charles Robinson for a long time. Matter of fact, I remember Charles Robinson screwed Hulk Hogan. I mean, at the time I was upset, but now I'm sitting here and say, oh, he just turned baby.
He was on to something.
Yeah. He was on the same. Charles Robinson said, "You don't pass the smell test." But he's been around for a long time, and also too, when Goldberg came out, it was not JJ Dillon. Oh my God, Jim's. I forget because I recognized that guy. Like when they showed him, and like a clip and everything, I was like, "Oh my God, that's him!" I remember him. I remember him in WCW. But it was really cool to see him, Ernest the Cat Miller. Like some people would be like, "Oh, I remember him WWE." I remember him WCW. I thought that was cool. Like certain characters. I'm sorry, certain people I saw. I was like, it was so cool to see them. DDP was there as well. I think he was in a crowd, and eventually came out after the match. Sorry, hiccups. These hiccups are kicking my ass, guys. Apologies. This match. Look, he had his retirement match. I hope that it was everything that he wanted in a retirement match. But yeah, it was there. So I'm gonna give it to you because you are the Bill Goldberg guy. What did you think?
So I remember maybe it was last year, a couple of years ago. Goldberg was like, Vince McMahon's a piece of shit because he didn't give me my retirement match. And I'm like, all right, you want to sit here and call Vince McMahon a piece of shit? Sure, it's the cool thing to do. There's reasons to do it. Whatever. To sit there and say to call Vince McMahon a piece of shit because he didn't give you your retirement match when he gave you championships in 2 decades, you technically had no business winning championships in. It's like that's a crazy call out. But whatever. Didn't think nothing of it. It was I sat there and I brushed it off. I was like, that's not the play because Vince basically blessed you with championships well past your prime. I'm not mad at it, right? I'm Goldberg fan. I get hyped every time I hear the music. Well, almost every time I hear the music, but we'll get to that. I hear the music, I get hyped. I want to say it was either last week or the week before. I'm guessing it was last week. Or no, this week. I'm bugging. It was this week when he had the thing. He had that little promo where he pulled up in his car to talk to Gunther. When he got out that car, usually, the crowd start chanting Goldberg, and I'm getting hyped. I'm like, uh-oh. But when I saw him come out that car, I could almost immediately tell. I was like, wait a minute. He's hurt. He shouldn't be. He should not be wrestling.
I feel like that's when you wrote in the chat that.
Yes, I was like, yo, he is hurt. He should not be wrestling. There's something wrong there because like the way he was walking, it looked like he was trying to hide a limp or something. Like that wasn't it. And boom, in the middle of him walking from the car into he goes past Gorilla and goes onto the ramp and his music hits. like I said, most times I'm hyped. The music is fire. I know some people don't like his WWE version of the song.
That was me, and I said that earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe hate is strong, but I did not like the WCW one. Just sounded like destruction approaching you.
The WCW one is definitely better, but even that WWE one, I like that one too. I Goldberg, man. Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. Like I said, WCW one,
It's
the
the
one that we
superior.
had tonight,
The
by a
superior.
lot.
Superior.
By a lot, yes.
Easily.
But the music hits and I'm not hyped because I'm looking, I'm like, Goldberg is hurt. Like, what's going on here? Like, and it was like, yo, he shouldn't be wrestling, not because he's old, but because he looked hurt. And because this is not like this is supposed to be his last match, and this don't look like the Goldberg I remember. Like this doesn't look like the Goldberg that I would want to see in a last match.
Right.
Fast forward to tonight, and they got it set up. They got the crew in front the door or whatever, and then you hear the bang on the door, and then the door open up, and he ain't got that same intensity. He ain't got that same aura that he always had, and you can see it, you can feel it, and like I said, the crowd chanting the name, the music going off, but it did not hit the same from Jump Street. And I'm looking, I'm like, damn, this is what you were crying about? Because, like, his last match before this was he lost against Drew McIntyre,
right? What, the last person he lost to?
Yeah, before.
Oh no, it was Roman. It was Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay, right. So he lost to Roman Reigns, and in that match, he looked and felt like he had more aura, and he looked and he felt like that really should have been his last match. Like I don't see what like. And I'm wondering if it has to be a hindsight 2020 thing, because there's no way you sit there and you have this match and think to yourself, all right, I'm satisfied. I would be upset if I'm Goldberg. I would be mad as hell that this was my last match, because his match against Roman, his match against Roman was better because he wasn't hurt. He could at least move. This one you could see. Like, yeah, he did a couple of Goldberg things here and there, but like it wasn't it. It was bad. This was not an okay match.
No, this was not like one of Goldberg's better. And Goldberg's had, look, I'm not going to say he's had technical masterpieces or anything like that. I know everyone's looking forward to see me slam dunk, and I'm not going to do that. He's had better in the ring.
Performances,
encounter.
This didn't even like tell a good story for real. Like this wasn't even like it wasn't like, all right, boom, like this is Goldberg and he's putting Gunther over. Like this felt like, I don't want to say it felt like Gunther was bullying him, but it felt like Gunther had no choice but to win. I don't know how to explain it. Like all right, boom. You sit there and like, all right, when he goes up against Roman Reigns, and it's like, oh, is Goldberg going to be the one to break down the Roman Empire because it's Goldberg? Obviously, the answer is no. But you can sense it. You can sense that, like, yo, maybe he could do it. This match, there's no way in hell Gunther loses this match. And it's like, if he does lose it, it looks really bad. As a Goldberg fan, I'm very disappointed in this match, because this didn't even have like the aura, it didn't have the storytelling to like make Gunther look good. He just looked like it was bad. It's
the one other thing.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, please. I'm so sorry.
I was gonna say, I'd argue like it's like when you see, it would be, all right, boom, it would be like Kobe's last game, he scored 60, and it would be like, all right, he scored 60, and then Kobe's like, oh, I'm gonna go play one more game after this. Ridiculous. Don't do that. Or slightly more fitting, I don't want to say slightly more fitting, but maybe Jordan hit that last shot against Utah, and where that should have been the last thing of Jordan we saw, he said, well, no, Jordan has a different situation as to why he went back to play basketball for the Wizards. but he shouldn't have played for the Wizards.
No,
Personally,
he shouldn't have. No, not at all. It never felt the same. I remember, and I'm not even a basketball guy. Maybe this is 2020 looking at it, but even then, I was like, yeah, like, like because Michael Jordan is one of the best of all time. Look for me. I know you said Roman Reigns. I hear you. Respect to your opinion. Honestly, his last match should have totally been against Dolph Ziggler. I forget it was 2018, 2019. And that's when Goldberg looked like Goldberg. Like, here's the thing. Goldberg want to go out looking like how he looks. Goldberg, I remember watching the 98, 99, and all that time period and stuff like that, right? I feel like that's where my wrestling lore started, was in the late 90s.
Mhm.
And Goldberg would just beat people. Goldberg would just dominate. I told you earlier, like when everyone think they know the story about, oh, I know why Jack don't like. No, he kept bothering the NWO, which meant you bothered me. But he would beat everybody. He would honestly, if I could sit here and say it, he would dominate everybody that came in his way. And what he did when he went against Dolph Ziggler at that time, Nick Nemeth, right now in TNA Tag Team Champions, by the way. Like that was a way to go out, and he wanted to keep coming back, and he had that match with the Fiend, which I didn't think we needed to have, but it happened. He had a match with Braun Strowman. I don't think that needed to be a thing because that was not a really good match, and it's not because people wasn't there. It just really wasn't a good match. He had a match with Drew McIntyre, and fine, whatever. That was 2021. So 2022, he has a match with Roman Reigns, and that was supposed to be the original match before COVID happened in 2020. I'm sorry, I'm so terrible with WrestleMania numbers, so that's why I don't go by name numbers. I just go by the year. But originally it was supposed to be Goldberg against Roman. It was supposed to, spear versus spear. I'm glad we didn't get that match right away because that Roman Reigns and Tribal Chief Roman Reigns are two different individuals. But I'm just saying, I honestly think he should have been hung the boots up. Because there was no way he was going to be the same Goldberg that he was all the many years ago. I almost feel like if you want to be really truly honest, I would say Dolph Ziggler should have been his last match. But if we're being honest, his match against Brock Lesnar, 2017, should have been his last match. So I think that was a better way to go out and
Yep.
and whatnot. But he decided to come back, and I'll sit here and say this: as much as I'm not a Bill Goldberg fan, I sit here and say, hopefully, this is something he could settle on and he's at peace with, because I don't need to see 60-year-old Bill. He's 58, so another 2 years he'd be 60. I don't think we need to see 60-year-old Bill Goldberg going out there. Truthfully, if we're being honest. And I was just sitting here and say, like, hey, look, if I can just end it off like this, I know once again this might surprise a lot of people, but he had a really good career. If you really think about it, champion in 4 decades, as you pointed out, he was one of the faces of WCW. If we're being honest, he had that streak. That streak was that streak was BS. I'm going to be honest with you, because one moment he have 70 wins, and the following week it's 95. I'm like, who's counting?
That streak stuff is funny because
Please.
it's like, so somebody counted and they figured out what the number was. I don't remember exactly what the number was.
They
But
did the
yeah,
actual shoot number, right?
yeah, but it was a decent streak. But what I also found when I looked at I want to say the number was 156, but I don't remember. Don't quote me on
156.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
No,
don't
I'm
quote
gonna
me.
Google. I'm gonna Google, but 156. All right. I
Yeah,
won't quote you, but all right.
but what I do remember is learning when I researched it. I remember he had like 4 or 5 matches before that, and he lost a handful of those matches. So he technically wasn't undefeated. We just, made a streak from whenever he started winning or whenever he was booked as Bill Goldberg the dominant, and we just took it from there. And yeah, he's undefeated. Da, 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 da. And it's like, oh, he wasn't all the way undefeated, but he did have a streak, and that streak was crazy. So, but yeah. I do. I hope he's at peace with this too, because man, this was not it, man. This was not it. And he didn't get someone like John Cena to volunteer to, squash him real quick. Nah, this was not the way to go. I don't know.
You know, I'll be honest. You broke news to me when you was talking about he had matches before that and he lost. I never knew that. But you said 151. You said 151, right?
I thought I said 156.
You was off by one. It's 155.
Oh, okay.
But that's still pretty damn good though. Like, cause like I knew it was a number. Look, they did everything. They built Bill Goldberg up. Bill Goldberg, he's even said he never really inspired to be a wrestler, and that's what makes this whole I want to have one more match so interesting because he was never into this stuff. But you know, listen, he's going to be an icon in wrestling forever, regardless if you like it or not. And yeah, no, I hope he really made peace with it. I know there was supposed to be a thing after the show,
But they cut
look,
him off. Oh,
they cut him off.
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't like I said, it wasn't a PLE. It was
No.
Saturday Night Main Event, so it's on, your local Channel 4 or whatever it's on, and that's probably why I got cut off. And maybe they'll show the whole thing on YouTube at some point.
I'm sure
Like
it
they
will be. Yeah.
like they've been doing for several segments. But yeah, his thing got cut off. You could tell because like he was still in the ring. He didn't put down a mic. He didn't break off. We didn't hear the music. No, it's just da 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 da. Whatever he said, Atlanta this and Atlanta that, and then fade to black. I was like, damn, this is what you came back for, Goldberg. Like,
Well, I'm getting confirmation that backstage Bret Hart clipped the
cut it. That's it. Enough.
turn it off. I will not be disrespected.
I wish not to see this.
And his wish was granted. I honestly think Brett turned it off immediately as soon as he heard Bill Goldberg's music. He said, "Oh, that's enough." But that's really the Saturday Night Main Event, guys. The matches were not even anything spectacular, but we were here. We wanted to talk about it here. We're trying to get some content here on the Big Pop Theory Podcast, the YouTube channel. There's the links in the chat. I'm so sorry. There's links in the description. There's the links to the Big Pop Theory Podcast, the Instagram, the Twitter, YouTube channel as well. Even though if you're here, you should know what the thing is. There's a link to this guy's channel. I'm sorry, this channel, Legend M. I know that you have been doing some things. I know it is a channel that you are building, but I see that you are doing some content. You have some shorts going on there. I want to say there's shorts.
Yeah, I need to do more. So like, I was trying to stream. I don't want to say what Sonic game it was, because eventually I do want to stream it. I was trying to stream a Sonic game on June 23rd, and I had technical difficulties, and I'm like, oh, forget this. I have been a little slow with the content because it's summertime. I'm outside touching grass and whatnot, but I think I'm because I got a bunch of ideas. I got like a whole book, not a whole book, but I got a book of ideas and stuff to do. So I'll have some video game related content coming this fall for YouTube near you. Yeah.
And I love that for you. And I look forward to seeing that content, my guy. I always appreciate you being here for the Big Pop Theory Podcast to talk some wrestling. We usually have like a big panel and stuff like that, but it was just me and you. And that was fine. That was cool. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That is the show. We're going to do an audio review of things. We're going to have predictions for Evolution. We're going to talk about All In, the results and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you guys, did not see All In, did not see Great American Bash because all that stuff happened 3 in the morning. In the afternoon. Apologies. Jesus. But all these, there was so much wrestling this weekend from Friday to 3 events on Saturday, and then you have Evolution. And I, like I said, Evolution, we should be live after the show. And that's really it, man. So I'm gonna hit the. Ooh, I hit that. We're gonna put this thing. We're gonna say thank you for watching, and we sit in and say enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.